What's up guys, it's Lethal. Today I'm going to be breaking down my stretch resolution that I use. I will tell you I have a 1440p 144Hz monitor. The link's down in the description. If you're on a 1080p monitor, you're going to want to try 1656 by 1080. A 240Hz monitor at 1080p costs about the same as a 2560 1440p or 1440p monitor at 144 Hz. If you're playing at 240 Hz, you're not going to want to come down to 144 Hz just to have a higher resolution. But the world's first 1440p 240 Hz gaming monitor is the best of both worlds. A high resolution, nice and crispy, but you're going to have a beefy PC if you want to use this monitor. In the world of PC gaming, it really is pay to win. The more you put into your PC, the better performance you're gonna get. And so that's your option. If you haven't already, leave a like to let me know you're here, and let's get into it. Just by looking, you can tell my character looks a little bit wider. This is because I am playing at 1920 by 1200. It has a higher pixel count than most stretched resolutions out there, which means that you're actually going to gain more detail over a standard 1080p resolution. The only downside is it's going to take a little bit more CPU and output from your graphics card in order to render these frames. In my settings menu, you can obviously see that it says 2560 by 1440. But if you go back to the gameplay and compare, you can actually just see that this is stretched, and that's just a visual bug. I'm playing in 1920 by 1200 stretched and not 2560 1440. The benefit that this resolution has over a lot of stretched resolutions out there is that it has higher visual clarity, it has more pixels, so you can see more of what's going on in detail. And if you have a good enough PC, you can still crack about 160 to 200 frames. My PC build, I'm gonna put the parts down in the description, but I have a RX 580 and a Ryzen 2600X. I've overclocked both of these, but even at stock, I was still able to play this game and get over 144 frames while playing 1920 stretched. I have my frame rate uncapped. Everything in my settings is on low, except for the view distance, which is on epic. So these are the settings I use to achieve this type of frame rate in game. Obviously, motion blur is off. I have show FPS on, and multi-threaded rendering is checked to on because I have a 6-core CPU with multiple threads. When I first bought this monitor, I was coming down from playing on a 55-inch TV. If you're into competitive gaming or you've done any research on gaming monitors versus TVs, 55 inches on a flat screen LED TV is probably the worst delay time that you can get while gaming, but we live and we learn. We're gonna take you down into your desktop search bar. I already have it copied, but what you're gonna type in is percentage local app data percentage, and you're gonna hit enter. You're gonna go to Fortnite game, then you're gonna open the saved folder, config, Windows client, then you're gonna right click on game user settings, scroll down to your properties tab, you're gonna uncheck read only, hit apply, and then select OK. Then you're gonna right click game user settings, select edit, and here you have various settings within the game such as motion blur, mouse acceleration. Now at the top of the window under the edit tab, you're gonna select replace. In my case, or if you're trying to get 1920 1200 stretched, you're going to replace 1080 with 1200. And as you can see, I've already replaced it in this blank, but if you're on a 1080p monitor, what you're going to do is replace 1920 with 1656. All right, under the setting, use dynamic resolution equals false. You're gonna see X and Y. You're also gonna see last confirmed resolution X and Y. Whenever you type in the resolution, these are the resolutions that are gonna be affected. So if you're on a 1080p monitor, type in 1656 in place of 1920. My method for getting 1920 1200 stretched is replacing 1080 from 1920 by 1080, replacing that with 1200. so that it will say 1920 by 1200. You're going to click replace. It's going to replace it. Make sure that in these two places, the resolution that you want has been selected and changed. You're going to click the replace button until it can no longer find the resolution, and you'll get the little error pop-up message. After about the third time that you hit replace, it will not be able to find that resolution anymore, and that's when you know that you've completed this the way it's supposed to be done. You're going to go to File, and then you go to Save. Close the window. Then you're gonna right click on Game User Settings, go down to Properties, make sure you check Read Only so that the game doesn't reset your settings. Even when you download a new update file, it won't reset your settings. Click Apply, tap on OK, and you're good. After you do this setting, it's not always gonna require you to go into your graphics card and change your settings. So what you're gonna do first is open up your game, make sure it opens, and if it looks stretched and you go into a creative or playground, you test out your FPS, you go into a game, then you're good. But if you have any other issues as far as black bars, that's gonna require you to go into your game settings in your graphics card and change those graphics card resolution options. But we're not gonna cover that in this video. We're just gonna see if this first step works, and for the users that it does not work for, then we'll take the next step and make another video. Remember that when you go into your display resolutions in the game, it's probably not going to show the resolution you're playing at, but ignore that. If you have the resolution and the frame rate that you want, you can move your frame rate up and down. It's not gonna affect the resolution at all. But if this video helped you, if you were able to achieve stretched resolution 1920x1200 or 1656 by 1080, let me know down in the comments section. And if you have any specific resolutions or settings that you have questions about, comment that as well, and we'll see you next time.